constantly asking yourself, what if? What if I fail? What if I don't do good? What if I get in this situation and things don't go right? But what if you pass? What if you succeed? What if you become successful? What if you get to where you wanted to get to? What if you accomplish the goals that you wanted to accomplish? When you change your mentality to think about the what if, and that question and that mentality, you change the what if to now I know. Now I know that I can do great. Now I know that I can be successful. Now I know that I can do what I thought I never could do. Instead of it being what if, it now becomes knowledge, right? Change the mentality that you have when it comes to what if. What if you do go to the gym every single day? Now I know that when I went to the gym every day, I can actually start building my body. What if I actually start that business? Well, now you know if you start that business, you will have a lot of success. What if I don't do everything that I need to do, and what if I become a failure? Well, you'll never know if you never try it. When you put yourself in a what now mentality, it keeps you stuck, right? When you sit there and actually think about what is it that I need to do to get to where I need to get to? What can I do to cross the bridge? What can I do to get to the next level? It's not going to sit there and be with the what if. What if I do this? What if I do that? Without any action. The time to take action is literally now. Because if you sit there and you just think about what do I need to do to get to the next level and never act on it, you will remain stuck. So change the what if mentality that you have to now I know. Now I know once I do these things, I will actually be great. And a lot of people, they're scared to take a risk. A lot of people, they're scared to get to the next level. A lot of people, they don't think that they can actually handle the challenges that come their way. You've been through a lot worse, and yet you overcame that challenge. You know what I'm saying? In my head, I think about what can I do to get to the next level, and what's that really going to take for me to get to the next level. There was a time in my life when I broke my leg, and I was like, dang, I may never be able to walk again. Or what if I never was able to walk again? What if I was in a position where my leg is just stuck the way it is? And then the other side is, well, what if I went to PT? What if I trained harder? What if I got it functioning again? What if I got it back on the, to be stronger than ever before? The what if question has so much power in it because it can stay in the stuck place or it can grow with you. That's for you to decide though. There's a time that I still look at my leg now, as I'm looking at it right now, and I look at the scar and I say, man, that moment right there taught me what it was like to really push through the hard times, right? I could have lived my life being wheelchaired. I could have lived my life being stuck. I could have lived my life being depressed, but I chose to elevate and to work through the tough time that it really gave me. And that's how a lot of people are mentally. You sit there and you train yourself to become wheelchaired. You train yourself to not get to the next level that you need to get to. Instead of you being able to full sprint run at your goals, you stay there and you think about, do I want to be wheelchaired or do I want to sprint? Well, I mean, if I'm wheelchaired, then people are going to be able to push me around and I can always have help. And it's probably the safer option. I won't get as tired. But if I sprint and I actually reach my goals, then I might be more successful and more prideful and more, what does that look like? You're stuck saying, what do I do if I fail? While someone is saying, what do I do when I succeed? The same question that you have for yourself is not a new question for someone else. They've had the same question. What if I don't do well in this business? What if I don't, accomplish everything else that I want to do? What if I don't get my body right and I do everything and I'm just wasting my time? What if I get in this relationship and it doesn't work out? What if I take this risk and it just fails? Everyone has had that moment. Life is a risk in either way. But which risk are you going to be willing to take? Are you going to take the risk of what if I fail and I'm just going to stay in my wheelchair? Or what if I sprint and fall on my face, but at least I got more progress than being in my chair? That's up to you though. You are in control of your own risk. You know what I'm saying? Every day is a risk. Driving around is a risk. You can get risk pulling over, right? Walking around is a risk because what if you pull something in your muscle, right? Going out, hanging out at the clubs and hanging out with people. What if something pops off, right? Anything you do is a risk, but what risk are you willing to take? You have to decide that. And not only that, but you have to put yourself in a position to be willing to take the risk, the good risk. Be willing to succeed and better yourself. Better yourself for 1 month. I challenge you. Better yourself for 1 month and say, what can I do to elevate my life in this month? What habits do I need to change that I need to do? Some of you guys, I've met a couple of people where they're like, I'm gonna bet on myself so much I'm gonna leave my job and try successful entrepreneurship. I'm gonna try to open up this business. I'm gonna try sales. I'm gonna try doing this door to door. I'm gonna try doing all these different things for me to bet on myself and see how I act. That's wonderful, because that means you're pushing your limits that other people are scared to do. Other people are saying, what if I go door to door and no one wants to answer the door? Or what if I sell to nobody? Or what if I start this business and nobody wants to be a part of what I have going on? What if I become, this super big content creator and now I have people that hate on me? I can't handle that type of rejection from people. People are going to judge you either way. You look at somebody that's homeless and you're like, man, what do they do to get there? And then you look at someone that's rich and you think about, what do they do to get there? Either way, it was a process. Either way, you're going to have people that's like, dang, that person's really homeless. I wish I could help them. Dang, I wish that, as a rich person, I wish that I was there, right? Everyone's going to have an opinion. So either way that you go in life, you got to think about, either way, it's a risk. And which way am I going to take? And at the end of the day, when you're sitting there in your bed and you're sitting there, you're laying down, maybe you're sitting there deep in your thoughts one time, I want you to think about, what can I do to take better risk? Walk into a season where you're taking better risk for yourself than doubting yourself. No one else is going to believe in you more than you. And the fact that you're sitting there feeling sorry for yourself, saying, man, I wish that I was successful. I wish I had more money. I wish I could take care of my family. I wish I did this and this. And yet you're not taking those risks. It is up to you. That's based off of you. I'm going to say this last thing because I meet a lot of these type of people that want to be successful. They want to get to the next level and they're not willing to take the next step. For myself, I have a mentorship program where I teach people how to make money from the stock markets, from Forex and day trading. And people are like, man, I really wish that I had more money, but like paying for a course and learning about something is just way too much. But you go to college and you pay thousands of dollars for something that you're not even going to use, that you still need experience for. You know what I'm saying? You think about the position that you put yourself in anyway. What if I go to college and I still fail? But what if I take this course and I can still make a lot more money, or I can develop the skill? You don't even want to be a part of something that's bigger than you because you're so willing to stay a part of the normal program and doubt yourself. You stay at that 9 to 5 because you're like, man, I can't do anything better than this. I'm not going to go to another job and get a better salary than this. I have the best boss, right? I love what I'm doing, which is cool if you're in that position. But there's other people that are miserable at their job and you're like, man, I'm just stuck. And you're okay with that. Because if you weren't, you would have done something about it. You would have connected with the right people. You would have done different habits for you to elevate. You would have done different educating on the side. You would have picked up different side hustles for you to get where you needed to get to. Instead, you're sitting there like, man, I wish someone can give me an opportunity. I wish someone would come along my way and just hand me some money. Hand me an opportunity for me to do something great. If it's anything that I've learned in my life, you have to put yourself in a position to win. No one's going to come beside you and say, hey, by the way, I got this opportunity that's going to change your life. Hey, by the way, I got this thing that's going to elevate your body and elevate your mind and elevate everything that you're doing. You have to go out and find that. And the worst part is if you already have a connection of someone that's being successful or someone that's already being great and you choose not to work with them because you feel like you don't have enough time, you don't have enough resources, you're putting so much time into the game, you're putting so much time into watching videos, you're putting time into all these things that's not even pouring back into you. And yet you're like, oh, well, I just can't do it. You literally have a connection of someone that can be great to make you greater. And you're like, I don't know. It's just too risky. What if I tried and then I fail? What if I try? You'll never know until you try. Never know. And especially if they're in a place where you want to be at. And you have someone in your life that's like, man, I'm really working and I'm really grinding, but nothing's working. Everything that I'm trying to do is not correlating. But you have someone that's kind of finding their way, finding their track, being successful, being somewhere where you don't want to be at. If you don't want to work a job, you have someone in your life that hasn't worked a job, in a couple years. You want to get your finances to the next level. You got that personal trainer in your life, and you're like, man, I see he's working right. He's eating the right things. What do I need to do? He's in real estate. What do I need to do to be able to get into my first investments? He's doing this and that. What do I need to do to get there? There's nothing wrong with asking for help, but it's not going to just come to you. So, what if you fail? But what if you succeed? That's the question you got to ask yourself. That being said, though, follow me on Instagram, like this video, subscribe to the channel, y'all, and I will catch you on the next video. I'm gone.